Hello, welcome back. It's been about a month now since part 5 of Money Heist's finale has been released. I'm just now recording this episode. My first review of the final part of Money Heist did so well. About 100 views in 3 months, which averages out to about 1 view per day. Let's go. As unenthusiastic as I sound, I'm only half joking. I really do love this show and I really am excited to make this video. I just was expecting a little more of a bigger response from the first video I made. Am I surprised? No. But that's okay, I said I'd do this whether that video got views or not, so here I am. Before we go any further, I want to let you know that there will be spoilers ahead, obviously, so if you haven't seen it yet, don't watch this, watch it and come back. It's really hard in a lot of TV shows to wrap up loose ends, and when there's lots of different plot lines, for them to tie together all the loose ends and kind of wrap everything up in a nice way is really phenomenal. They did a good job, and that's where this finale shines above any other finale of any other TV show. So we're gonna go piece by piece, episode by episode again, as we did last time, and just talk about the show start to finish. Episode 6. Episode 6 is a really good start. All the characters are kind of reacting to Tokyo's death, and I kind of feel like they spend too little time on her death, but that's okay. We've established by now that Money Heist just doesn't care about Tokyo's character anymore. I'm kidding a little bit. I know she sacrificed her life to save other lives. It's okay. I just wish a little more love was given to it. We get to see how Bogota became part of the crew and the gang, and that's a really cool flashback. There's so many flashbacks that aren't necessary, so this one is very cool to see. The chase scene with Sierra was actually phenomenal. I don't even remember. It's been so long since I watched it. What did they even do? Using the wife as bait, pushing the panic alarm, escaping from the car, having the professor and Sierra having to team up while danger is literally on the way. The police are literally going door to door trying to find the professor and Sierra. That's so cool and it felt so intense. The best scene by far is the crowd of people outside the Bank of Spain that are shouting, "We're not leaving!" That was so cool. My only complaint with this episode is when Denver kisses Julia. What? I always felt Denver and Stockholm kind of had a bigger bond. They were more in love. They came together when times were the toughest and they stuck by with each other. So it's why is he kissing on this other girl? Things could have turned out fine without Denver cheating on her with someone who it didn't really even seem like he liked. It was just a very weird addition. I give this episode overall a B+. Very good episode. It's hard to make episodes after a character's death, so this one was good. It did it well. Just a weird kiss. That was so strange. Episode 7. The best way I can describe episode 7 is that this episode was so freaking fun to watch. I mean, I had more fun watching this episode than in a long while. The whole episode just feels like a cat and mouse chase with really just thematic music to carry it. The professor and Sierra escaping the police at the beginning through the kitchen, the streets, riding down the rope, explaining the plan at 3 a.m. in their pajamas to the professor. It's just so much excitement, so much just spark in their eyes during that scene. When Lisbon and Martin are inspiring the gang, and when the professor and Sierra are hiding in the sofa from the police, and then the baby makes a noise and almost gives them away. I was actually on the edge of my seat there. I was like, how are they gonna get out of this? When the gold finally starts pouring out after Martin was begging for the machine to work and everyone starts celebrating, and then when the professor and Sierra are just taking care of the baby and watching TV and making dinner and talking like real people, having a real conversation for the first time in a while in this show. The girls were literally cracking jokes in this episode. It's been so long since I've laughed at an episode. The living soldier crawling through the vents, just adding that level of, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Just knocking at your brain. All the guys pretending that Lisbon is single so that stupid kid can make a fool of himself in the elevator. And then at the end, extracting the professor and Sierra from trash cans? They just dumped them into the truck. That's such a creative escape for this show, and it just seems so simple. And that's what this show does best. It really creates just extravagant creative plans are oh my god, that's so simple, that's so cool. And then the little teaser at the end where the professor is well, why won't the police be waiting for us? And then Berlin and Martin just grin at each other. I basically named every single scene from this episode because The episode is so great. The music, the acting, cinematography is so good. Chef's kiss. The danger felt real and present. It wasn't exaggerated, but it also wasn't boring, especially when they were in that sofa. Very real danger. This episode really set the team of the professor and Sierra more in stone. It's like, okay, now they really are a team. Now that they were talking together and the professor was kind of like making food for Sierra, and we also got to kind of see like an insight of her character that we've never seen before, where she's like, no one's taken care of me in so long. Like, she was always just trying to be this like badass, manipulative negotiator from season 3 on. So for her to just be natural and vulnerable is so nice to see and adds so much more to her character. The episode just moved the story along in a way that had me literally bobbing my head the whole episode to the music and just like literally grinning from ear to ear at how fun this was. I literally would consider this an S tier episode, if not an S plus tier. I loved it. Episode 8. This is when I knew this series finale was big. Like, this is so much better than the first 5 episodes in this finale. This episode blew me the heck away. Holy crap. I complained so much in my first video about how the backstories mean nothing. Why are we, like, learning all this crap about Berlin's son? And finally we know, because he robs the gang. Him and his girlfriend steal the gold, and it brings back the most basic theme that we learned in the first season, which is that love trumps everything. Love trumps money. It trumps everything. This episode is one of my favorite scenes in like all of TV history ever. It is all the scenes where Denver and Stockholm or Monica are just being happy with each other and dancing in the vault, just like where they met each other in season 1. The show really came full circle. They really went back to where it all began. It shows that amidst all the chaos and the lies and the death, they still are so in love and there's still hope for them. For Denver to just be honest and crack jokes with his wife is so relieving. I mean, he was just so stubborn and just so angry. Like, the entire like last couple like 2 or so seasons, like, god dang, dude, just cry a little bit, let it all out, thank God. Berlin was so Berlin this episode. He was just so menacing and evil. The way he talks to his son gives me chills. When he's throwing all the glass and the cutlery and the whole restaurant comes raining down upon him with that song. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright. He finally gets caught, which shows that the crimes and the money doesn't matter. He finally gets caught when his heart gets shattered. Again, love trumps everything. That theme keeps coming back. That's why this show is amazing. Another really fun episode, probably the best acting we've seen either so far or in a while. I loved it. I love Pamplona. What a funny name. Like, we needed some laughter there. The big reveal is still mind-blowing. When Berlin's son just steals all the gold. And when him and Tatiana take off their masks and kiss, just holy crap, what a plot twist. It also makes all the backstory worthwhile, and the payoff is so freaking good. I mean, if they didn't have a role this big in the last couple episodes, the payoff would not have been worth it. But the payoff is worth it. It's so good. Again, another S tier episode, you know, on the verge of S plus tier. If you want to make it S plus tier, by all means, go ahead. Episode 9. Although this episode was more low-key than the others, somehow the stakes were raised. I have a big complaint and a big praise with this episode. The praise is that, you know, for most of the show, it's just like a cat and mouse chase between the cops and the gang, and it's like, you know they're gonna outsmart each other, so for Berlin's son to come in and throw a whole wrench in their plan and add a whole new villain, I think really was necessary for this finale. It really needed a bigger threat than what has been introduced in the first 4 seasons. My only gripe is that the professor figured out where the money is so fast. Like, I'm aware he's a smart dude, okay, that's what makes him the professor. I feel like Tatiana and Berlin's son took so many precautions to hide the gold, and the professor just kind of jumped over every single hurdle thrown at him. Which is fine. It's cool, because he's smart, but is he that smart? Like, really? The cinematography, the colors, the editing, the entire vibe of the montage where Berlin's son and Tatiana are building an entire house in a couple of minutes over the gold they just buried. Is really freaking cool. I don't see that in TV shows. TV shows don't use montages nowadays. I feel like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, the spin-off, and Money Heist Part 5 is the only shows I see do that. This has another favorite scene of mine when the whole gang is being taken out one by one. They're all in different parts of the bank, and just one by one, the soldiers rush in and take them out. That was so cool. And again, that's another montage that is done so well. Why don't shows use more montages? And this is what was needed. A moment where everything is lost, the spirits are at their lowest, and the danger is the highest. Overall, I give this episode probably an A-. Although it was really good, it wasn't as fun or thematic as the last 2 episodes, and it was definitely more low-key, which is okay. Just, it was. Alright, we're on the finale. I just want to get this out of the way. There was music underneath this entire episode, which is very interesting to me that there was never really a silent moment. Maybe I'm digging too deep into this, but it kind of felt since there was always a beat, things were always moving, the plan was always in action. So there was never just a stale moment or just a moment to breathe. And I don't know if the people who made this were yes, we're gonna add music for the idea that there's no breathing room to, it's a metaphor. Sergio's backstory with his dad about how his dad died and why he wants to even be a robber in the first place and why he's pulling off these heists is really cool. It kind of gives insight into his character because it's revealed here that he was never really only doing this to save Rio. He was doing this because he felt he needed to, and he was also doing it for himself. And although I love the scene, I just thought it was kind of boring. Shoot me. It's just, I don't know, kind of boring. It was very slow. It was a long monologue, which is okay, just not my speed. The entire show is kind of unrealistic, but because the plan is so methodical, there's this belief that oh my god, this could really work. And this is the first episode where I was okay, really? There's no way that they are accomplishing all this. The kidnapping of the fishermen and the captains, the driving, just driving trucks onto the boat dock and not being stopped or caught by anyone. And then just loading stuff on a fishing boat as if that people just turn an eye to that. And then literally having the entire Navy comb miles of ocean water. The pacing was also so fast. Probably the most elaborate scheme to date is being pulled off, and it feels like I'm barely even know what's going on. And I know things are speeding up because it's the climax and the tensions are highest, so this is when things have to be moving fast. It felt almost a little too fast, and major details are being skipped and major hurdles are being overlooked. That was just my opinion. I think it's a really grand plan. I think it's really cool. Of course, it's really great to see the plan finally come into shape and work. It's just a little unrealistic, which is okay. There is supposed to be that charm that maybe this could be possible, and it kind of left my mind for a little bit there. That's all. The only couple I'm really left rooting for, or that's left to root for, cough cough, Tokyo and Rio, is Denver and Stockholm. So they've been my favorites since they got together, so yeah. After hearing that spray of gunshots, and then seeing all the coffins come out, there really was a part of me that was wait, did they all just get shot and die? Obviously they didn't, but there was a second there I was hold up. Using the theme song at the end was really, really cool. I think probably the perfect time to use it. It reminds me of Breaking Bad when they used their theme song in the last couple episodes. My favorite contribution this episode was honestly Sierra. Her being able to single-handedly find and export the gold. It's just really cool. I loved her character arc this entire season. She really turned into one of my favorite characters, when at the beginning I didn't really even know if I liked her, so that was awesome. I gave this episode, again, a B-. So overall, how do I feel? I think it was great. In the first 2 seasons of the show, they were digging a tunnel for a good number of episodes. It was kind of clear how they were going to escape. I love that in these last final episodes, even in the last couple episodes, you still don't know how they're going to escape. But just leaving that hint in of the gold was probably one of the best decisions they've made this entire series. Giving us a hint at how they're going to escape, but not telling us how. That was the best decision, probably. Sierra became one of my favorite characters in this whole show ever. Like I said, she turned from like a badass kid torturer to a badass single mother, and that's like awesome. Really, really good character arc. I mean, her character was, I think, my favorite addition into the show ever, and they ended her character perfectly. It's perfect, and I want any more seasons. She is beautiful. She's amazing. I think their final escape was good and bad. It's really cool how grand it was. It was so over the top, which clearly shows they're masterminds at what they do, but at the same time, I miss the charm of them just sneaking out under the police's noses. Like I said, with the professor proposing, with Denver and Stockholm making it out, with Sierra finishing her character arc, with the police putting an end to this holdup and like helping them escape, with Rio and Tokyo having their end, even though it's not the way I wanted it, they came to their end. A lot of good loose ends were tied. I mean, it really was a great way to end the show. Like I said at the beginning, that's one of the hardest things in the TV show is ending it, because it goes on for so long. You just add so much stuff. So like actually stopping it is hard. So many shows fall victim to that, like BoJack Horseman, The Office, The 100, Jane the Virgin. It's just like, where do you stop, you know? And this show did a good job. Very, very phenomenal show. One of the best I've ever seen ever. I mean, great characters, great relationships and dynamics between them. Great storyline. The use of montages and the use of flashbacks is really good, better than any other show I've ever seen, with the exception of Breaking Bad, probably. I give these last 5 episodes a decent 9, verging on a strong 9, but I gotta go decent 9. So yeah, that's my review. I hope you all enjoyed. I will be back for more shows. I'm hoping to make more of this stuff. Hopefully with movies, they're shorter in the future. I know with TV shows, they can get kind of long, and I think I have to work on decreasing the length of TV show ratings if I do want to continue to do this on my YouTube channel. Regardless, I have lots of fun. I know Big Mouth season 5 is out now. Stranger Things, the next season's coming out. New stuff comes out. I'll be there to watch it and rate it because, I don't know, I just like doing this. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like and feel free to subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.